What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and we are going to talk about the 2 second-round picks that the Philadelphia Eagles made here today. Just a little bit late. If you don't know, I'm moving into a house, and I literally spent the better part of like 2 hours, 3 hours trying to install a dryer. So I was like, I gotta get this done before I can get home, back to the old home base for the time being, and record a video, give you guys my reaction. But I did post my reactions on Twitter, so if you're not following me on Twitter, at PapaXC4, that's where you get the up-to-the-minute updates as we have the remaining picks day 3 for the Philadelphia Eagles. So what we had was the first selection, 53? Was it pick 53? Yes, it was. Pick 21 in the second round. And they selected Miles Sanders, running back from Penn State. Okay, we'll say coming into this, at this point, if you're following me on Twitter, you know what I was thinking. I was like, all right, best case scenario here. A couple picks before, I thought A.J. Brown would be a very interesting pick for Philly. But I was kind of feeling like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with one of those 2 picks. We had 2 picks pretty close, like within 4 picks of another. I want Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then I said, maybe we look at, DK. Could be DK Metcalf. Could be, Andy Isabella. And we started things off with Miles Sanders, the first of our 2 second-round picks. Now, Miles Sanders comes in as best known as being Saquon Barkley's backup, but in his first full year as a starter, which he only had 1 full year as a starter, he had 1,400 yards from scrimmage and 9 total touchdowns. Now, he's a 3-down running back, not the strongest in pass protection, which is, a running back that's not great in pass protection and being on the Philadelphia Eagles. Name a more iconic duo in our backfield. But Miles Sanders does have a lot of shades of LaShawn McCoy. Like, if you had to put his ceiling of a running back, like who is the best case scenario, the type of player Miles Sanders can develop into, it'd probably be like a LaShawn McCoy type. Good hands, can catch out the backfield. I mean, if we're comparing what we have right now, some people have been surprised that the Philadelphia Eagles drafted a running back in the second round. But ultimately, Jordan Howard is 90% a 1-year rental. Like, it's either Jordan Howard's going to underwhelm, and then maybe we might look at bringing him back and keeping him a part of the committee, or Jordan Howard actually plays pretty damn well, and then, Philly's just never, ever going to pay a lot of money for a running back. So, I mean, looking towards 2020, as much as we have to do, pretty much with the Andre Dillard pick, because Dillard's going to take over for Jason Peters in 2020, a guy like Miles Sanders is a forward-thinking pick. He will be able to contribute right away as part of our running back by committee, but, it's more so what he's going to be able to offer to the Eagles in 2020. Is he going to be a potential bell cow back? I mean, I wouldn't get my hopes up. I don't think Doug Peterson's ever going to want that style of running attack, just for the Philadelphia Eagles. But Miles Sanders has that potential. And, coming into before the combine, before all the offseason stuff, like, he was a top 10 running back. He was a running back that, probably held a, 4th round pick before the combine, just because of, athletically, and his tape was pretty damn good. But then I would have to say that I never once would consider my number 1 running back. But if you didn't know anything really about the running backs and you just watched them at the combine and doing on the drills and stuff like that, I don't think anyone looked better than Miles Sanders. He tested very well throughout the drills. 4.49 40, has good speed, good explosiveness, and we already know that he's incredibly agile, sideline to sidelines. It wasn't a reach. I felt like at this point in time, Miles Sanders is a legit 2nd to 3rd round running back. It's just more so, it's another forward-thinking pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. And, as much as and there's probably a decent segment of the fan base that wants a guy that's going to make a big-time impact this coming season, look at how he won the Super Bowl. I mean, first of all, we got to trust Howie Roseman and Joe Douglas. And, Miles Sanders is a much better pick than the last running back they went out and invested a draft pick in, Donnell Pumphrey. That's for damn sure. But, we won the Super Bowl by approaching the draft forward thinking, not just necessarily reaching for an immediate need, but get a guy that, long term, within the lifespan and health of his contract, is going to be the most impactful for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is Miles Sanders. Ultimately, I mean, to throw a grade on it, I'll probably get another B. I gave Andre Dillard, when all the dust had settled, I gave that pick for the Philadelphia Eagles a B. Miles Sanders, it's a B. It's a B. He's a guy that will be able to contribute for the running back by committee. He can catch. Unfortunately, I don't think it means Josh. When you look at Josh Adams and Corey Clement, probably Josh Adams is not going to be on the roster next year. Corey Clement, running back 3. That's if I had to guess. I'd be very surprised if we keep 4 running backs. But I mean, seeing what Josh Adams did last year, we probably can still stash him on the practice squad and keep him available and potentially call him up if there is an injury. But ultimately, not a bad pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not upset about it. And understanding and just put it in your mind that Jordan Howard's a 1-year rental, because there's no way in hell that if he goes off this year, like some people think he might or could, that we're going to be able to retain him. We're not going to pay him, a contract for a running back that's going to, we have to pay Carson Wentz. Just focus on that. So Jordan Howard's a 1-year rental. Miles Sanders is a very nice running back going forward. Now, if I had to find a way to critique this pick outside of the fact that he's not an impact playmaker right away as a rookie, it's that next year's running back draft class is pretty damn strong. And, if I'm trying to compare Miles Sanders to potential options next year, and understanding that Philly will never use the first-round pick on a running back, we're starting to look in the second and third rounds. If you pull up the running backs that are going to be available, I mean, it's way too early, but you can assume that, in terms of first-round running backs, you probably have Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin and Travis Etienne from Clemson. Then beyond that, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, A.J. Dillon, Trey Sermon. Those guys are probably going to be available in the second round. And where does Miles Sanders stack up against those guys? I mean, I don't want to get into that debate right now, but I will just say, if I had to critique the pick and remain impartial, I would say that Miles Sanders in the second round, in comparison to, based on really nothing, but what would be perceived the running backs that could be available in the second round next year, might be a little bit better options then. But overall, not upset with the Miles Sanders pick. So then a couple picks later, I think it's 57, the Philadelphia Eagles, I was like, all right, come on. I brought my girlfriend in because obviously she was there when they won the Super Bowl, so I thought she was going to be good luck. I was yelling at the TV, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then they go out of nowhere and very surprisingly select J.J. Arcega Whiteside, the wide receiver from Stanford. Now, as a prospect, I like him. I like him as a prospect because he reminds me a lot of Alshon Jeffrey. So, just evaluating him as not an Eagles pick, but just a player, the fact that he is 6'3", 225 pounds, and at his pro day, so, I mean, you can't really, say it's 100% for sure, because it would probably be a little bit different if he ran at the combine, but he ran a 4.49, so you could assume that he is a more athletic, similar style wide receiver as Alshon Jeffrey. And I always kind of liked him because clearly you see the similarities between Alshon Jeffrey and Jay Jaw. And because of that, I'm a big fan of Alshon Jeffrey. I was like, all right, I rate this prospect. Now, this pick is hard for me because it's my opinion that it's not a good fit for the Eagles, just because of the way I personally like a wide receiver core to be built. Now, in terms of trusting Howie and in terms of just a pure talent aspect, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in the second round for a wide receiver, he had some unreal games for Stanford. He has some of the best jump ball ability, maybe the best jump ball ability in this year's draft class. He is just absolutely fierce in the red zone. But I personally like my wide receiver core to complement each other. Kind of frustrating to see. Who knows? Maybe if A.J. Brown was still here, he'd be the selection. But I kind of see right now, Alshon Jeffrey's definitely in the team's plans for the next couple of years. And we just went out and get another Alshon Jeffrey. Whereas, we don't have Djax forever probably. He's getting up there in age. So who's going to be that speedster? Or, Nelson Aguilar, what's going on with his contract? Is he going to get traded during this draft week? Is he only going to be for one more year? Who's going to step up and be that slot wide receiver? Those are two styles that I think would have been more important to the Philadelphia Eagles than getting another Alshon Jeffrey. Now, they could very well view Arcega Whiteside as a slot wide receiver, but I just kind of feel like Matt Collins is in the style-ish of J.J. Arcega Whiteside. So we now have 3 wide receivers that essentially fill the role that Alshon Jeffrey had. And my way of thinking about this is, why not try to get another compliment? Andy Isabella out of UMass brings Deshaun Jackson's speed, as well as can cover the slot spot that probably will become available when Nelson Aguilar moves on. So, I mean, I personally would have went that way. I personally would have found someone. Personally, I would have went Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But if we're going wide receiver, I would have found someone that would be a more of a compliment to what we already had than doubling up. But, I mean, trying to make sense of this pick, good luck stopping the Eagles in the red zone. There's going to be a good shot that if we're running 12-man, there's going to be Alshon Jeffrey, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and then Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz on the field. That would be my red zone package. Good night. We're going to be absolutely lethal there. But, it's not a bad pick. I'm not upset about this pick. Again, I'd give it straight up maybe a B-. It's still getting a decent grade, a good grade, a positive grade for me. But personally, I would have looked elsewhere. But I do like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Like I said, when you watch his tape, it looks like Alshon Jeffrey. He's a faster Alshon Jeffrey. And because of that, I always kind of liked him, was attracted to him, his play style. Get your minds out the gutter. But he's a touchdown machine. Almost averaged 17 yards per reception last year. So, he gets separation downfield while he's not a burner per se. And you know what? If I had to be completely honest with you, like if you're comparing him to the other big wide receiver that's still available at this time in DK Metcalf, I mean, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is the safer pick. He's a safer pick. And you know what? Philadelphia, we had some success developing wide receivers under Mike Groh, who was our OC. He basically helped Nelson Aguilar turn the corner with his career, and maybe it would have been interesting to see what he could do with DK Metcalf. You can't be upset with the picks. And as far as me recording this, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's still the pick I want. Florida Gator buys the side. I think he's still on the board. Like, he might be there in the 4th round. As of recording this, I haven't seen it. I haven't been checking on my phone. So, I mean, Philly got a 4th round pick. We got a 4th and a 5th still to go. So, yeah, hopefully we get some good players with those selections. A linebacker, like if we can get like a Jermaine Pratt and another safety, I'll be pretty damn happy. So, let me know what you guys feel about these picks in the comment section below. Getting 2 skill position players, I feel like I should be a little bit more excited than what I am. But, I'm always a bitter old man, and when they don't do what I want them to do, I get a little triggered. But what do you guys think about it? Personally, it could have been a lot worse for sure. We've seen some really ridiculous picks throughout this draft, and it seems like Philadelphia is going with the safe, forward-thinking picks, and that is the formula that won us the Super Bowl. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.